Boa tarde, pessoal. Damos boas-vindas a todos nesse evento da Associação Brasileira de Viola da Gamba. E agora, no turno da tarde, a gente tem a honra de contar com a professora Hille Perl, diretamente da Alemanha. E é uma honra tê-la aqui conosco. E para dar essa masterclass, então, o funcionamento rapidamente, gente, só para explicar para vocês, os alunos vão tocar, isso foi pré-combinado com a professora, de acordo com as decisões dela. Eles vão tocar em tempo real, a gente não vai tocar o vídeo, eles enviaram previamente para que ela pudesse ouvir antes, né? E eles vão tocar então em tempo real, é meia hora para cada um, então a gente precisa ser pontual. Quando sobrar 25 minutos mais ou menos, eu vou avisar para a gente passar, encerrar e passar para o próximo, né? Então, cada um vai se apresentar antes e aí a gente começa a dinâmica. E como a gente não vai poder contar com tradução simultânea, eu vou procurar escrever no chat alguns tópicos que eles estão trabalhando aqui, só para quem não fala inglês conseguir acompanhar, tá bom? So, Hille, I'm going to introduce you. Thank you for being here. We are so thrilled to have you here. And I'm going just to read your bio, and then we can start with Lucas, okay?
Super.
Então, pessoal, se alguém ainda não conhece a professora Hille Perl, eu vou ler rapidamente o currículo dela. Então, Hille Perl, musicista, gambista, toca música desde quando consegue se lembrar. Para ela, a música é o principal meio de comunicação entre os seres humanos, mais preciso, intenso e inconfundível do que a linguagem, de maior significado emocional do que qualquer outra experiência a não ser pelo amor. Para ela, a música é um meio de conectar não somente o passado e o futuro, mas também uma forma de integrar socialmente os aspectos mais conflitantes da existência. Viaja o mundo tocando concertos e gravando CDs com diferentes grupos ou solando. Atua principalmente com a música dos séculos 17 e 18, mas também permite que a música a leve a lugares que nunca sequer sonhou. Quando não está viajando, ela vive em uma fazenda no norte da Alemanha com o marido e algumas galinhas, ovelhas, gatos, cães e gansos. Durante a pandemia do coronavírus, ela estudou para se tornar uma professora de yoga, pois gosta de ajudar as pessoas a aprenderem técnicas que as fazem se sentirem melhores sobre elas mesmas. Ela também faz parte de um projeto de pesquisa para desenvolver uma ferramenta de ensaio e performance remotos, junto com o ensemble Orlando Viols. Ensina apaixonadamente seus 9 alunos na Hochschule der Künste Bremen, Alemanha, tudo o que ela sabe sobre música, tocar gamba e como não ficar com inveja se alguém toca melhor do que você. Gente do mundo, relaxe. So, Hille, it's time to work with Lucas. Welcome, thank you so much. And then, Lucas, pode abrir seu microfone, por gentileza. Se apresenta rapidamente, Lucas, e diga o que você vai tocar antes de tocar.
Em inglês? É, né?
Não, em português.
Ah, tá. Eu sou o Lucas, eu sou de Brasília e eu vou tocar My Hopes Decade do Tobias Silva.
Wow, well done. Fabulous performance. Thank you so much. Lucas, there is so much potential, and I really enjoy your intention of playing. But just a few little comments about the piece, first of all. Let's start with the piece. What kind of a movement is it? I mean, I'm asking this because to me, your performance was really nice, but a little bit too fast, really. I think this movement is, we always have to, with the pieces by Tobias, we always have to make sure that we understand exactly what the movement is. And there is not that many different ones. Either it's an Almain, or it's a Pavin, or it's a Galliard, you know, there isn't that much more. And I think this piece, My Hope is Decayed, is actually a Pavin. You can see that, I mean, the time signature says it goes in 4, so if it goes in 4, it can either be an Almain or a Pavin, and I think this one is a Pavin. Could you try to be very precise about, you know, a Pavin? If you think, for instance, what we all know, the Lacrimae Pavin, we always know that it goes in very slow 4. And if you imagine something like that, to understand how the first bar should be played. I mean, you didn't play unrhythmical, but it was, to me, it was a little bit unquiet for being a Pavin. Can you maybe try to just play the first few bars and see what it feels like if you are totally aware that a Pavin is what you intend to play? Could you just try that? Super. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very good. The first 4 notes are rhythmically the same thing, right? Yam bam be dam bam bam. So make sure that that not the first note, just because it's a chord, is longer than the next ones. You see what I mean? Just like a Pavin, always imagine a person is walking, and a person is walking, but very stately and maybe also proud. And despite the fact that the piece is called My Hope is Decayed, it's still a very, you know, it's a message. So it goes ya dan ti bam, and so on. So just try one more time. Much better. Much better, much better. Have you ever tried to play it with a metronome, just for checking how it feels? Did you ever try?
I tried, but not recently.
Okay, I think you probably should to, you know, put again the metronome on very slow half notes. Ya ba bi ba pim bam, ya tan ti, so that you really get a sense of the stepping, of sort of a slow stepping. And now there's one more aspect. Maybe you can try the beginning one more time, and when you just play the first bar, maybe try to just move the bow and your left hand and not the body. You're a little bit in the habit of being very involved in your playing, which touches the heart. But I think it's as a performer, we always have to think that we also project out. And especially when you play on the low notes, you very much, you know, you bend over your viol a little bit too much, like this, I find. And I think, you know, it would be really nice if you could, I know it's really hard for us to perform in our own room and with an audience that we don't see. But still, maybe you can try to imagine that we're all out here, and that you face us a little bit. You see what I mean? So that you're upright and you project out there, your beautiful lamento. Just try one more. Try one more time. Try to sit straight. Yeah, sit. Yeah, wonderful. That looks brilliant. It looks wonderful. And now stay that way when you play.
Okay, it's kind of hard for me, but okay.
It's hard for everyone. It's hard for everyone. Yeah, super. Wonderful. You know what? I loved the first few bars because I felt that you had more peace in, it was a little more peaceful, a little more settled, and it was a little more like a true story that you're telling. And it's easier for the listener, for all of us to follow if we really see that you're facing us, you're facing toward the audience. Totally lovely, absolutely wonderful. Please try one more time. It was a brilliant first bar, and you look great like that. Really fabulous.
Okay, I think when it's
Das nicht in deiner Musiksammlung finden.
I think after the first bars I lost a little the thing, and okay, I'll try again.
Wonderful. One more little thing. There's do you have the music in front of you, or are you playing by memory?
By memory, but I have it right here.
So if you look at the third bar, there is these in the middle of the third bar. You have these thirds, right? The letters C, D, and C, A.
Mm-hmm.
Can you play those long? Just as a sort of melodic, yam pam ti tan ta. Just try that bar directly.
Okay.
Yes, I love it because that, yeah, super. That is because it's melodic, and if you play chop chop, it doesn't really make a melody. And we always have to, after all, it is a song, despite the fact that we play chords with it. And but whenever we have the chance of actually playing melody, it's important that we bring it out. Now, if you look again at the music, the second note is the bottom string, and the same also in the third bar, the second note, right? Mm-hmm. And it's wonderful. You hit it well, and it sounds great. It's just maybe it's also because of Zoom, because of the transmission, but I think it is too loud and too active. Have you seen a lute player playing? If a lute player plays that chord and then uses his thumb to play that low note, it's always just a confirmation of the bass. It's not really that important. So I know for us it's important because we need to use the bow to get there, and that's why sometimes it becomes too active and too loud. Mm-hmm. So if the first chord is wonderful, but then the second note should not be hard. It should be, you should reach it, but it should just happen and not be actively played. Just let it happen. And the same in the third bar as well. Can you try again?
One more time.
Yes, and sit straight, right? If you sit straight, then if you don't move to play that note, the bow won't be that heavy. Yes, exactly. And possibly you don't even have to move the gamba. If you keep the gamba still, yeah, exactly. Use your elbow to go there and not move the gamba. Yes, wonderful. That looks great.
I think I have to be a little more flexible to go here. I'll try.
Well, you're slim, so you theoretically you can put your elbow behind your back. Yeah, see, there's a lot. Yeah, wonderful.
Okay.
Yes, super.
Like that?
I loved it. I really liked it. And also, just imagine, how these were upright people. They were proud, and they wore a lot of clothes that made it difficult for them to shake around like this, right? So imagine you don't have to put on the clothes, you just have it inside yourself to be this upright. It's very, very good. Really nice.
Okay. Ooh.
Try one more time.
From that bar?
No, just go from one last time from the beginning, and maybe we go on to the second section a little bit.
Okay.
Super, go on. Second section, go on to the second section a little bit. Super, thank you. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Really, really nice. Make sure that when you have, like, at the end of that second line, right? You have yanta, danta, danta. It's sort of like a higher melody and a lower melody. And I feel like you're going a little bit too much. This bit, this bit, this bit, this bit. And if you manage to make a longer phrase from that, ya di da din ta di, at least 4 notes together, put 4 notes together in one mental shape, or 8 notes together in one mental shape. And the same also at the beginning, yan da da din dan tan da din da da. Remember, again, we're still in a pavan, right? Yan da da din dan cham baran da da tan dan tin da da tian dan ti da ti. Just so that it's a little more generous in the phrase, and still it should be like syllables, like words, like make sure that you don't have too many notes of the same dynamic after one another. Always put them together in a bigger phrase, and beware of short notes. I hear too many short notes. Jump, chak, 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 yan, da, da, tin, dan, tin. Try to put it together, phrase it together.
Okay.
Second section. Yeah, wonderful. It's absolutely fine. In the beginning, I thought you were almost too fast again. Always remember the tempo of Flow My Tears or something, of a pattern that you know really well, and yan da da din dan ti. So peaceful and generous in the bow, but really nice, really nice. And keep your shoulders up and don't get too involved in playing. Keep performing. That's I think your main issue. I think that you just keep your, also when you keep your body calm, it makes the breathing calmer, and when the breathing is calmer, the whole expression can have bigger phrases. And I think sometimes when you know when you move too much, then the music falls into little bits, because every movement has one action. And if we want to make a longer phrase, we need less physical action. And you know, just like a singer that sings a very long line from one end to the next. Just try again this bit, especially when the notes get faster. Try one more time. Sit straight, be proud. You have to be proud and happy despite the fact that you have a sad message. Be happy and proud.
Okay.
What, just one question. Why don't you start this bit with the tiri? I think it's better.
Very small note. Okay.
Super. When you start with the tire, it all works out, and you can put the last two notes in that first bar on one bow. The notes C and A. You see what I mean? That way you know, exactly.
Okay, let me try again.
Okay. Super. There's one more thing which I'm always very critical about, and that is if people breathe at the moment, take a deep breath at the moment where they think a place is difficult. You have one place like that after in this bit after this A major chord at the end of the third bar. You play this A major chord, everything is fine, and then I hear you sniffing, and can you play that third bar one time and not sniff when you go up to the high A, the letter H on the seventh fret?
So
Just
I'll begin with the chords. So
yes, you do the chord, and then don't sniff when you go up to play on.
okay.
Just try to, you know, if necessary, don't breathe, because there's always a little break in the music when that happens, and I think it's dommage. It's not so good if that happens.
Okay.
Because it involves something that doesn't belong in the music really.
Okay, I'll pay attention.
Okay. Super. Very good. That was absolutely perfect. The other place where it happens is, I think, in the second bar of this place, again going up to the seventh fret, you know, at the beginning. Exactly, and before that you sniff. So now play the entire section and make sure you don't breathe when you have a position shift.
Excuse me, Hille, 5 more minutes,
Okay,
then we
super.
have to move on. Okay.
Okay, fine. Super. One last thing before we don't have time anymore. When you have in the third line of this piece, you have 3 chords after another in the second bar of. So which one is the most important, or which one is not important?
I don't know. I think the last one is the more important.
Super. And the one before that is less important. Now, the rule or one of the rules or one of the possibilities for playing chords is that we decide which one is more important, and that one we can break a little slower. The arpeggio can be a little bit slower, and the one that is less important, the arpeggio can be a little bit faster.
No, let me try.
Yeah. Super, exactly, and but the bowing should be the other way around. You should have the pussy. Yes, exactly. You should start with push bow. Yes. Try one more time, and the less important chord can be broken even a little bit faster. Da da da, brap, da 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 da, like that. Super. And if you apply that to all the places where you have chords after another, it makes it clear in your mind which chord has more emphasis and which chord has less emphasis. And that way they are in a context and they are not all the same. You see what I mean?
I see, I understand.
Because it's very important that you know where the emphasis is in a piece and where there shouldn't be an emphasis. And that's always, and when you know it's a pavan, then you know the emphasis is always just on the good beat and not on the light beat and so on. Super. Play one last time from that second section, and I let you play the piece to the ending.
Okay. Let me begin again.
Super. Very, very nice. Remember after this lesson, remember do play the piece once just for as an experiment with the metronome, just to find out the pacing. It's wonderful. Thank you for your good work. Keep up the good work. It's absolutely brilliant. It's worth doing it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Obrigado, Lucas. Parabéns. Agora a gente vai seguir para a Gabriela Gembe, que fala... Ela está em Mendoza, na Argentina, e vai tocar para Hille um movimento da sonata em Lá menor, do Telemann. Gabriela, é com você. Se você precisar de ajuda com o inglês, a gente está aqui para ajudar, tá bom? Gabriela, se você puder se apresentar e dizer qual movimento você vai tocar para as pessoas.
Voy a hablar en español.
Tudo bem.
Mi presentación. Voy a tocar el segundo movimiento de la sonata en la menor de Telemann.
Okay. Wow, fantastic. Very, very nice. And such a wonderful piece also. Really well played. Thank you so much, Gabriela. I believe because we have these different rhythmicalities with the triplets and the 16th notes, it's almost a touch too quick. I believe that it's almost a hair too quick. And there is one thing which happens, which I think will help you to hold the tempo. It sounds a little bit like you're rushing ahead of yourself, right? And I think the most important thing though in this music is that it's very upright, which means that we always need enough length of sound on the emphasized notes. So you have in a bar of 4, you have 2 emphasized notes, right? The one on the 1 and the one in the middle of the bar.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And that stays the same also when the notes get quicker, as in the second or third bar. What I hear a little bit is they're all the same. And if you have only a little bit of of the emphasis in the middle of the bar and more on the one, it will be much easier. Just play the beginning for me again. Already in the very first bar, I think yan dan da da tia dan. The middle of the bar can have a little more of a sound. You go, you know, it's like you never get to the emphasized notes. You're already rushing ahead. Yan dan da da tia dan. A little more like jazz or something, you know, where you sit on the good notes, on the ones that have rhythm and you know, where you put the foot down. Yan dan da da tia dan ti da da din tan cha da 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 di da di da ta da 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 ti da 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 cha ba da ba dam bam bam. A little more like that. And I don't think it needs to.
I have that in the first bar with the bowing. I decided to do bam bam beep bim bam bam.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
Yes, I really like it, but still make sure that in the middle of the bar you have enough of an emphasis.
Okay.
It's long, and you know the note, the B natural, needs to be long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Even longer. Even longer. Yan dan da da tia dan tin. Try once even longer. Very good, very good. There is one tiny little technical thing, is that when it starts with these 16th notes in the second and third bar, your bow is too quickly on the E string again. Ya ba da ba di ba da ba dam. You know, the tilt of the arm is, you know, the way your bow goes down. You're a little bit too fast on the second note of each group. Ya ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba dam. I can hear that the bow is already there, but it shouldn't be. So hang on to the first notes of these little 16th notes a little longer. I think it will sound much better. One more time.
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I didn't know. I don't understand. More longer the repeat notes.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I can demonstrate. That your bow is too quickly on the E string. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, much better. Mm-hmm. Try again. Yeah, so it is because it happens to me also. I mean, it's because we always think ahead, and sometimes the right hand makes the movement too soon. You know, the right hand wants the bow wants to be quicker on the note that is further away than it should be. So make sure that you counteract and you stay longer on the upper notes. Like that a little bit. Try one more time. This tempo is good now, what you have now.
From the beginning?
Yeah, from the beginning if you like. Wonderful. Yeah, super. Very nice. Very nice. Now, when that starts, that's there you really tell the story, right? At first, you introduce the theme, and here it's more talkative. And I think you can think a tiny bit of inegal, just not to rush. If you think just a hair of inegal, would help to make it more melodic. Try directly from bar, what is that, bar 5. Yada-ba-da-ba-dee-ba-dee. Wonderful. And now try one more time. And I can see, you know, it's mean because I can see your left hand so well. And your left hand is brilliant, but I think the movements are a tiny bit too big for this. Sometimes it's also that our physical movement has to do with the expression of the music. Sometimes when we want to have something very strong, we make the movement of the left hand bigger. And when we want to just parlando, then we can make the movement of the left hand, the fingers, a tiny bit less big. Try that a little slower to keep the movement of the left hand, you know, don't lift the fingers quite so high. Okay. And I think that makes a difference to what the music in the end will sound like. Try directly from that place again. Wonderful. Yes, yes. I find it feels different. What do you feel? Does it feel more parlando, maybe?
I do these big movements for control, for rhythmic control. I think if I do
less,
I'm afraid I will lose the tempo.
Yeah, but just give the control away. Your hand will do it. You don't need to control your hand. Your hand can do it. Your hand is fine. Just let go of the control, and then I think then it becomes a little more natural, you know, because you don't. And in playing music, we never need to be afraid of anything. To be afraid is only in your head, right? I mean, we have to know that we never need to be afraid of anything. At least, you know, we don't have to drive a bus. We don't have to fly an airplane and all these dangerous things. It's only music. And sometimes it's so liberating to let go of the control. And your left hand is so fine. I can see that it works really well. So just let it do the job and let go of the control. We don't need the control in this. Sometimes we do, but not in this place. And you know, the other thing I wanted to say is you're always in the same place of your bow, but you can also you can don't know if you can see this. You can change where in the bow you play this, where you tell the tale, and don't, you know, sometimes it's like that. That also makes a more parlando sound, you know. Try that. Super, wonderful, wonderful. Now do it one more time. I really like it, and I think it helps. Also, this feeling of slight inégal, that's all wonderful. Now, please make sure that your right shoulder doesn't come too forward. Your shoulders stay like this, but it's your arm that can, you know, your elbow, your arm that can move out, but don't come around with the shoulder, right? Because that I can see this tendency. It's not a bad tendency, but I can see a little bit this movement, and I think it'd be better if you stay superior. You know, again, that has to do with too much involvement of the body. And if your shoulder needs to come around, no, it doesn't. Make sure that it's your arm that can move out, and not the shoulder. Don't forget we have the elbow. We can make the arm longer, And I think that makes it also easier. Sometimes it's all about making it easier, you know, especially in a happy movement like this. It's a very happy movement. Telemann had a very good day when he wrote that movement. He was really in a good mood, and he thought, I'm going to make this so nice, and it can be so great to be played with 2 gambas and so on. So he was really happy, you know.
I don't remember the past of Red. He loves the flowers and the
tulips. Yes. He was a great man.
Yes.
Super. And then one thing about the long notes. So we have these short notes, that is nice. You have to be listen very carefully that you're always with the bow on the string where you're playing, because still there's a slight tendency that your bow is faster than or too soon on the next string. But now about the long notes, you come yan tan di da tin dan. How will you make the long note sing? There is one really good trick, is if you don't start the long note too loud, it will be easier to shape it. Yan tin da da tin dan. A little bit like, you know, try to give it a little bit more of something like a messa di voce or something. Because otherwise it just sounds, you know, the shape of the note is otherwise too straight. Yeah, exactly. And if you want to give it a little bit of like a singer, you know, shape it like a singer.
Bar 11.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, okay. Already very different. Just to be aware of it, you know. Long notes always want to be shaped. They don't forget that a long note is not just something where you wait, but it's always something where you shape it. And you know, as Telemann, a very famous quote of Telemann is that singing is the fundament to music in all things. So it's always like, you know, always imagine you're singing it. It's always like, even when the musical figure seems to be instrumental, but it still can be played like you sing it. I loved that long note because all of a sudden you had this awareness that it has to have a shape. It was wonderful. Please do it one more time. Super. And then when you come to these triplets, that was really nice. You have, whenever you have a little rest in the music, a little pause, a little break, I think it's easier if you lift the bow off the string. Just dare to lift the bow off the string, and then you can come back onto the string. Do the same place one more time. Super. Very good. Exactly. Don't forget the shape. Don't forget the shape. Don't forget the shape of the long note. That was much better before. Super. And the little ornament you make, the little ornament in bar on that D sharp, right?
Yes.
Should be from above. So you should start on the E. Not on the D, because the E is the fourth. So super. Yes, that's it. And whenever you play an ornament, play it with a lot of love, right? Ornaments always need a lot of love, never hectic. Always give them a lot of, because an ornament is something that wants to be shaped and and loved and stroked. Otherwise they sound so hectic. So don't worry that the trill is not fast enough. Just make sure it's loved enough or beautiful enough. It doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to be played with feeling. One more time, directly that bar.
Bar 11 or?
Yeah, you can do bar 11 one more time. Super. One last, that was wonderful. One last word about these triplets. The triplets, you know that they go against the 16s, right? Yaga da daga da daga da goes against yaga daga 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 daga. And that means that you have to make sure that it's really played with a slow feeling. Triplets are always with a slow feeling. Yaba da da. And then always play it in groups of two. Yaba da di ba di ta ba da di ba da tim bam bim. Not daga da, but yaba da di ba da, or even better as the whole bar, which would go yaba da di ba di da ba da ta ba da tiam bam bam. That shape over the whole bar. One more time. Go on. That was wonderful. I liked it. Go on. Let's go on a little bit. Yeah, super. And that, in principle, you're doing the right thing. But I think what I hear is that in bar 17, the one is not loud enough, and then the, you know, because it's this this going up step by step, right? Yam da da dim pam cham pam pam. That's where the modulation starts, right? So the one needs to be a little bit longer, and then there needs to be a comma. Yam da da dim pam pam tam ta da da dim pam pam cham pam. And the ones, you know, the ones where you reach the one is always a little bit too short.
Yes, I thought the first note was the final.
Yeah, and it is the final of the old chord, of course, and then we introduce the new one. But still, I think it needs to be played with love, because you have 4 notes before it that only go to that yadadim pam 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 pam. Very good. I really think it has more expression that way. Yadadim pam 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 pim, badadim pam 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 pam. Like that. I really like it. And then when you come back to the theme, I think the theme needs to be right there on the one. And that means don't play bar 19 too soon. Yadadim yadadin tan ta dan tadadin, as if there should be a little line before the theme. Yadadim pam pa din tadadim pam pim. Don't slide into it, because then we will only hear it, we will only understand it afterwards. But we want to have this theme, we want to have it right on the head.
Okay.
Same place, one more time. Super. Let's look at Yeah, wonderful. Let's look one time at bar 24 in the middle. Yaka dika dika dika, just that figure. Yaba diba 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 dim, this F sharp A C. Daba diba. Just play it, only that.
Ich kann das nicht in deiner Musiksammlung finden.
One more time. That was really good, and now a little bit faster. Yaba diba diba diba. Don't involve your head, right? The head stays completely straight, only the bow moves and the left hand. Yes, okay, super. Yes, wonderful. That was great. Did you see? If your head doesn't move, the movement is much easier. Right? Try again, please. Yes, okay. Okay, see? There is no problem.
Hille, 5 more minutes.
Okay, thank you. But that was really lovely. Gabriela, please remember that if you don't move your head, then it's much easier to play these places.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because it's much less work, so we burn much less energy, and it you know, then because we're not so involved, it sounds much better. Please do it one more time. There's wonderful. Remember that when you start with that D on the C string, right? Remember that is not important. The only important thing is the C on the next one. It goes ya da di da di da di da di da ta da di da di da di da da. If you start too important, then there is too much going on before. But it goes ba da di da di da di da di da ta da di da di da di da di. Always with direction. Wonderful, wonderful, and yes.
The same.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly the same. So when you get to the to 24, the 1, make sure that you stay there long enough. You have to first get there before you stay on. Yaba diba 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 ta ba da ba diba diba tiba diba 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 dim bam. So don't rush through that 1. One more time. Yes, almost. Do it one more time. You can do it. Relax about it and stay totally calm in your mind.
I have that with the
Yes.
fingers
I know, it's a grand salad. I have that problem all the time. It's not bad. Okay, super. Try it one last time though.
I have that. I don't know if I have to start this phrase with a medium position or start in, well.
Yeah, I know. You know, I wouldn't even think about it. Just let the fingers do it. It's not important if it's the second or the third finger that does it. Just any old finger will do. Just in your mind, you have to know that the notes are very close together. So it doesn't really matter which finger it is.
Okay.
It's better to not think about the fingers, but about what it should sound like. I'm quite sure that your left hand is grown up enough to do it by itself when you just think about what you would like to hear. You see what I mean? Perfect. That was wonderful. I think you're the type of person that sometimes thinks too much, and that thinking gets in the way of the flow of the music. So just don't think, just, just let your hands do it, because I think your hands are quite advanced. They can do it. Don't just, just make sure that you stay long enough on the important notes, and then the rest will be in the flow of the music. It's absolutely wonderful playing, Gabriela.
Very much.
Well, thank you for being such a fabulous player and so courageous, playing Telemann without accompaniment. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Brava, Gabriela, obrigado. Agora iremos para o Marcelo Rubio. Se encontra?
Sim, aqui estou.
Olá, Marcelo, bem-vindo. Se você puder se apresentar brevemente, quem você é, o que você vai tocar.
Bueno,
onde você está, né? E onde você está.
Bueno, yo soy Marcelo. I am Marcelo. I am from Chile, and I'm going to play a piece of Saint Colombe, the first prelude of the manuscript of Duno.
Wow, super good. Marcello, bravo, bravo. Very, very nice playing. I think, did you set up your audio set up to music playing? Because because I think your audio setup, when you go on the microphone symbol, did you change that to low?
The mic, in the audio settings, I have put suppress background noise.
Yeah,
Low.
should be low, very good. And then into music playing mode, a little further
Echo
down.
cancellation.
Yeah,
And that's all.
Gustavo, what should it be? The audio setup? Because I don't. Maybe it's only for me, but I think that he doesn't. I can imagine that he sounds really good, but I hear less detail than I did with Gabriela.
Yeah,
How it was for you?
maybe. Yeah, maybe he's closer to the microphone. Maybe he's closer to the microphone, and but maybe Tomás, você tem alguma instrução a esse respeito?
Tinha que botar o echo cancellation, né? Também.
Mas é a configuração que ela falou. É botar em on
É exatamente essa.
e, se puder, o som original.
Você tem o som original ativado, Marcelo?
Sim, lo tengo activado.
Às vezes é uma questão de microfone ou distância do microfone, né? Maybe Hille he's closer to the microphone than he should be.
Okay.
Or the quality of the microphone, I don't know.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll just work. We'll just work. It's fine. I'll deal with it. I just wondered if he could change something else. But anyway, let's get to Saint Colombe. That's really wonderful playing, and I think a lot of it really makes sense. I think that when you started the prelude, what is your first goal? Where do you go first? To the bottom D, right? In the non-mesuré bit, right? So you start with.
I don't understand very good.
What is when you start playing? Which note do you think of where you want to get to?
To the D.
Yes, and the next one is after you get to the D. That was clear, and after that you get to
an A.
Exactly. And I think these two phrases, they set the pace for the entire piece. And I think it can be a little more dynamically shaped. You see what I mean? So that we have a little more dynamic direction. First coming from somewhere going to the D, and then coming from somewhere going to the A. Just a little more dynamic shape. Can you just play it for me one more time?
Okay.
Super. Yes, thank you. And can you always the note before the A, the B flat? What happens if you play that long? If there is no, because it's like it's like the leading note. And I think it's much more dramatic or much more nice if the B flat is long. So play the second phrase going to the A, starting from the F again. Yeah, I quite like it. If yantada, maybe not longer in the sense of time, but longer in the sense of the sound stays until the A starts, right? So you don't go vop da ba ta da. One more time, the second phrase. Super. And now do it one time without breathing. Can you do that? Hold your breath and play once without breathing. Almost. You almost managed to do it without breathing. Because I tell you what, the breathing is not a problem in itself, but the breathing distracts you mentally and from actually listening to the music, because the breathing means you're involved, right? And it's okay to be involved, but it's at the same time also important to have the distance to yourself so that you can listen. Do one time without breathing, one more time, please. And just, stop breathing, hold your breath, and just listen. Your ears are the ones that are important. Yes, okay, super, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I think that, you have to watch yourself carefully when you practice that, or especially when you perform. Probably the problem is more so when you perform that you distract yourself with breathing, this stuff, right? You can do it sometimes, it's okay. A lot of gambas do it, but my experience is that that it gets in the way of the movement. It gets in the way of the flow of the music. And when you can manage to not over breathe while playing, there is more flow in the music. But that was super. Now I let you go again from the beginning, and then we go to the triple bit. One more time from the beginning and onwards. Yeah, thank you, great. So when you start with the triple, I think it goes to the second bar. Do you agree? The melody goes, the direction is to the second bar and then again to the fourth bar. That means that when you start the triple, it doesn't start very emphasized, but it goes ya din ta da chi da. And I would love to have, because we first had this non-mesuré, and I'd really like to have this feeling of mesuré once the triple starts, so that it really, that it's a totally different feeling. And that's why I believe it can be a hair faster, really, so that the listener knows, okay, now we are in mesuré and it's a 3. It needs to be very, very clear. And so you had this beautiful introduction, dreamy introduction, non-mesuré, that was very well sorted and everything, and really brilliantly played. And now we go into a mesuré. And that immediately has to have the corset of the bar. Try once to have this. I think the direction of the first bar to the second bar helps to establish that feeling.
Okay.
Directly.
Okay. Das habe ich online zu der Digitalstas Red Dead Willi, der die Notolieder von vielen Jahren in den Tag Fast der Willi, sondern Eva. Okay, now here in Mesiri Industrie and then Introduction Grenu Internet.
Oh, wait a minute. I need to get my electricity. Wait a minute.
Minutinho só para a bateria ser recarregada.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh. Okay, safe. So, sorry, one more time from the triple, please. And can you now, you always have these, the two first notes are slurred, and the note after that, you always play short. And can that be a tiny bit longer, maybe? Yadin, so that it doesn't go yadin chop, but yadin tan. So that, you know, you take the bow back only every third or fourth bar. And until then, you stay with the bow on the string, so that you don't always pull back on the third note of the bar. Try one more time. Super, very nice. A lot of nice things. You know, when these, it's hard for me to tell because of the acoustic of the Zoom, but I have the feeling that whenever you have these thirds that are slurred, like in the third line, that there could be more decrescendo under the slur, which would, I think, help. And this goes for I think all the slurs here. Now, whenever we come to the chords in the fourth line at the ending, I do believe that they have to start a little. The arpeggio can be a little bit slower. So especially when it's the 7, like the chord that starts with the B flat, or the chord that starts with the A. You know, this A7 chord. Make sure that you don't arpeggiate too quickly, because the listener will enjoy the dissonance much more if the bass note is established more. Maybe can you start somewhere in the fourth line? Like on the bottom A and the third bar, maybe?
Sorry.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I know that. Of course, the rule for when in the fifth line when we said ya dan tan ti dan tian ta dan dan, I think of course the notes that are jumped are not really inégal, but I just played with a French person, with François Lazarevich last week in Berlin, and I realized again the French people, they play everything inégal. And I think you can do that here as well. It helps to move over the bar. A tiny bit. You know, when you a French person would never play not égal unless it says not égal. If it doesn't, then no matter if Monteclair claims that it should be like this or it should be like this, but a tiny bit of inégal you are very well allowed to have in this place. It you know, it gives a different feeling of mouvement. Go directly from there. Just try that, a little more Frenchy. Very good. And make sure that the small notes, they don't just happen, but that you feel them. Yam padabadam, yam padabadam. I think the bow is almost too fast. Don't let them be automatic, but keep control of them. Yam patim patim badabatim patim patim badabatim. Don't just, you know, don't let the bow be like a lightning, but keep control of it in your right hand. Okay. Try again, same place. Now I can hear them much better, the small notes. There was only one, the second group, that I couldn't really understand, but everything else I could really feel, like you had the sound of it also. Make sure that the sound stays really good on the top string, ne? So stay with the bow inside the string and not with pressure but with movement. One more time. That was brilliant. That was really lovely. And with the not perdu, I really wonder, you know, we always have ya daba diba diba and then daba tim pam bim ba daba diba diba daba dam, and it's always the last, you know, the turning around of the figure that is a coordination problem. And I think it's better if it's on one string. That, you know, the E, F, G, that's always where the coordination doesn't really work. And this one, I think they always have to be on one string. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Please try directly from the not perdu. From there. Yeah, very good. Or almost. Okay. Once just separately. Just only that. It doesn't say that. It's just a technical exercise. I tell you something, everyone has that problem. It's the same problem for absolutely everyone. And that's why we always have to, because that's where we let the hand go automatic and then the coordination doesn't work. And it also has to do with, you have to make sure when you practice that, I'm not sure, I hope you can see my hand, don't go like this. But exactly. So the first finger stays there, and the second and third finger move simultaneously. Try it one more time. Yeah, when you watch yourself in the mirror, you will see that your first finger tends to go up. Your first finger tends to leave the fingerboard, and it shouldn't, because that way, you have to make one movement too many in order to get the coordination right, and it's a big danger, and it's the same problem for all these places, I believe. So let's try from this place a tiny bit slower and see on which string we are at every time.
Excuse me, Hille, 5 more minutes.
Okay, super. We'll just look at this little bit once more, because he's so far, he's technically almost there, and if he fixes that, then he'll be brilliant. So please, Marcello, try one more time from that place. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, super. And Marcello, this I tell you, it's not, you don't have to put a lot of work in it, but you will have to put a few hours of work in it, and then you fix it, and then it's yours forever. That's the great thing. If you fix that problem, and it only takes a few hours. When you practice, please practice in front of a mirror and make sure that your mouth is not involved in the movement, because it's I have the same problem. That's why I'm so critical with it, because I could only fix a lot of my technical problems when I stopped working simultaneously with my mouth. and it's not a pleasant thing, but we just have to sit in front of the mirror for a few hours, stare at ourselves, and learn not to work with the tongue or with the mouth, and then you can fix this coordination problem in no time, because the musically you understand this music very, very well. It's really, you're very far ahead musically, and it's just that you have to fix these few little technical details, and then it will be totally brilliant.
Okay.
And it's only a few hours you have to put in, I mean, it's maybe 20 hours or something, and then you can fix that problem, right? And then it will be wonderful.
Thank you very much.
It's really super. Thank you for your wonderful work. And greetings to Chile. I see the sun is shining in your country. I'm very envious, because here it's all gray and very cold, and
No, it's all indoors here. Very hot.
Okay, super. Thank you.
Bravo, Marcelo, obrigado. Agora a gente vai para a última aluna dessa Masterclass, é a Sofia Fant. Ela está aí?
Hi everyone. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hi, Sofia. Please introduce yourself and what you're going to play.
Okay, great. So my name is Sofia. I am a student of viola here in Chile. This is my second year playing. And I would like to ask the teacher if it's fine for me to play the Sonata of Marais, because I sent it to music scores. Okay. Okay, so I will play that one from the 5th book of Marais, the Sonata. I will play the first movement, the prelude.
Super.
Let me see if the sound works well. 1 second, please.
Yeah, maybe this is the time to set the sound. Please, Tomás, se você puder conferir com a Sofia, se ela tiver algum problema na configuração.
Sim, sim.
Great. Have original sound on and low suppressed background noise. That's what I haven't said. Okay.
Isso, muy bien.
Thank you.
Wow, wonderful. What a fantastic piece. What a lovely piece you play, and you play so well. It's really, really nice. There is almost everything already perfect. Tell me one thing. What do all these enflées mean to you practically? What do they imply?
I think when it's after the note, I try to make a crescendo with the bow. I don't know if that's correct. And when it's over the note, top of the note, I try to, I don't know, make it sound a little bit more loud, but I don't know exactly what to do there.
Okay, I think that basically what you describe is right. The enflé means basically a crescendo, right? But so we have, in all the Marais books, every book he publishes, he has more signs. And I imagine how it was for him, so he publishes his first book, and then a student comes and plays for him, and he says, oh no, that's not what I meant. And so in every book, he has more ornaments and signs how we should perform this music. And I think the enflé for him means basically stay in the sound of the note long, right? And so I think that, of course, we have séparé, it goes, the whole piece goes in half notes. You do that really well. And of course that means that some of the notes are unemphasized. Like when you look at the end of the first line, on the very last note, it says, there's an enflé on that top G, right? Normally, it would be an unemphasized note, so no stress or it would be an unimportant syllable. By putting an enflé, he makes it important, right? All of a sudden, there is an important word where normally there would be a second syllable, an unimportant word or unimportant syllable. That's, I think, what it means. So it means that stay in the sound and make it a little more emphasized when it's over the note. And you're perfectly right, when it's a little bit to the right of the note, it means, I wouldn't even think of it as a crescendo, but I would think of it as starting the note piano. Because it's very hard to make a crescendo when you're already very much in the sound. And if you start quietly, the crescendo almost happens automatically. So think of whenever you see an enflé a little bit next to the note, just start the note really quietly. And when the enflé is over the note, it means play the note quite long in the sound, stay in the sound, and play it emphasized. So if it was words, it would be good God Almighty or something. Good God, two emphasized notes after another. And that's what the way he uses the enflé. Can you try to play the beginning again with that feeling and starting the second bar really, really piano and seeing how lovely it is that if we start that long note quietly, how much bow we have left. And then on the second bar, this long A, long open A, which sounds wonderful, we love it. Do not breathe before the G sharp, but stay in the sound. Stay really long, because what I hear is yam, bam, paradam, but it should be yam, dan, tiabadam. Is that an A? Yes, it is. Okay. Play from the beginning one more time. Don't take a breath in the second bar.
I will have to connect my computer because
okay. I had the same problem just a minute ago. Super. One more time, please. Now I still hear a little hole in the sound between the first and second note. I don't want to hear the hole. Yadi, yadi, da. Okay. Yeah. That was wonderful. Did you feel that it's a different, it's a different message all of a sudden. It has more importance all of a sudden, right? It's a more important message we're trying to say here in this prelude. Do it again, please. That was wonderful. Super, and that little vibrato sign You don't need to move the hand, just move the finger, just move the second finger. Just do that vibrato. Yeah, okay. Just move the
Up and
finger.
down?
Yes, up and down, and so that the vibrato sound comes, but it can be slower that way. Yeah, try it once. Try it. Okay. Yeah. Very good. I think, you know, of course you could also shake the hand like that, but I think it's a nice possibility. And the descriptions we have is that that is what is meant when it's like that. When the line is like this, when the line is like this, then of course it's the plant, and that is, you know, with shaking the hand. But this is just moving the finger.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Super.
Great.
Great. One more time from the beginning. Yeah, super. And make sure that you get out of the ornament as well. So you can start the ornament, you can stop it as well, you know? You don't have to keep going. You can stop the ornament and keep the bow moving. Try that. For instance, yeah, that was maybe a little bit too short, but you know, you can play around with it. Yeah, it's probably good not to have it too fast, right? So that it's like a flattement, but not too fast. Last time from the very beginning.
How fast could it be? Like
Well, whatever meaning you want to give it, you know, probably it's just, to me, in that place, it means a special focus on that note, you know, a special focus on how beautiful this note, how alive this note is. Da wa 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 wa. Something like that.
perfect.
One last, oh yeah, and then when you go on, right? When you go on in the fourth full bar, again, start very quietly on the two strings. And that is difficult because the bow needs to be exactly balanced on those two strings. Just try it directly once, the fourth bar. Super, that was really good. But start the double stop, start very piano, even quieter, so that you can make the enflé again. Yeah, very good. Very good, very good. Now go one last time from the beginning. That was really wonderful. Super. You know, make sure that the trill also, you know, the trill in the penultimate bar of the first line, make sure that the end, always listen to the end of the ornament. This trill, again, you know, it should ya, ti, ya, and keep bowing when you're finished with the ornament. And that way it's much easier to pull the bow back calmly when the end of the trill is controlled. Do directly that ornament, penultimate bar of the first line.
Oh, I'll try.
Yeah, wonderful. Super good. And this chord, make sure that it has this en arpègeant sign, right? The chord. That means start on the bottom note at first and think decrescendo going up. It's it will be much nicer if the upper note is not as loud as the low one, because that is the final it's the final chord, and the bass note can have the emphasis, but if you roll up, it shouldn't be so loud. Just do that chord once. Yeah, okay, super, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was good.
it was a little bit too much maybe, but in that direction. Yeah, okay, super, okay. Yeah. Because that way the chord also is shaped, right? It's not just any old way, but you give it a shape. You give, the emphasis is on the one, of course, but you go up and it has a relaxed feeling. And if it has a relaxed feeling, it means that you can go on in time. If you have too much sound on the upper note, it will prevent you from playing on in time. Because then the sound is in the way somehow, because it's such an important first phrase, do the first line one more time and then I let you play on.
No. I'm sorry. I'll do it again.
Very good. Now here we have these enflées we talked about before, right? I think he makes the enflées because he wants the note to be long before the position shift. Because you have a position shift, you have to go down, right? Ya tia ti da. So he wants to have that note long, because normally a player, if he sees a position shift, he plays the note before the position shift short. Now Marais obviously doesn't want that. He wants you to play that long. And amazingly enough, by playing it long, you create more time for the position shift. It's hard to believe, but believe me, that is the way music works. You play that note long, and that way you have more time to go down in peace. Go directly from the end of the first line. No breathing before the position shift. Don't go sniff. Don't go sniff. One more time. Yeah, that's it. Super. One more time. Much better. Please do it again.
That was longer. I'm sorry.
You have to make it a little longer still, and really it helps not to breathe. You realize that? It really helps. Yes. to not break the music by sniffing, but by connecting, by playing longer, and you have to be conscious that you are the soloist. You have the time, and you create the time by creating the sound. If you stay longer in the sound, you will have more time to go down. I guarantee you, because you are the soloist. You are the diva, the queen. So you are in control. Do it one more time from that place. Very, 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 very good. Absolutely very good. Go, one more time and going on. Do it one more time. Sorry. Do it one more time. And now do not look at the fingerboard. Don't look at the fingerboard. By looking at the fingerboard, you're distracting yourselves because the eyes are very strong signal givers, right? And it's your ears should control your hands, not the eyes. Okay? And I know your body knows where your hand goes. You don't have to look at the hand, believe me. Your body knows where the hands want to go. And the ear is the controlling instance, not the eyes. Do it one more time. One more time. Super. Absolutely, absolutely. Even when you start to play, you don't need to look at the fingerboard. And go on. That was wonderful. That was really wonderful. Did it cost a lot of concentration?
That was it surprisingly worked. Like, I'm gonna have to work more on that because I tend to look a lot on my fingerboard. So
yeah, just stop that. You know, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, he said, when you want to become secure, practice in a dark room.
Oh.
In a dark room with your eyes closed. So dark room, eyes closed, and play, you know, and just play with your eyes closed, because when your eyes are closed, the ears are much more attentive. You can hear many more things when the eyes are closed. It's very interesting.
Oh, I'm gonna try that.
So say no, don't look. Don't look at the fingerboard.
Okay. Oh, I looked again, like it's a reflex. Okay.
You don't have to. I promise you, you don't have to. What? Sorry? Sophia, where are you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Now I hear you and I see you again. I just wanted to say, please start again after the C major chord in the second line. And remember, it's with the little appoggiatura before the C sharp. You started that a little bit too loud, huh? Because the C sharp needs to go a long way. And at the end of the C sharp is this little B natural, and never breathe on the points where the dots are. Never breathe on the note pointée, okay? Because they always want to go on. Start again on that enflé of that E. Don't look at your bow either. That was wonderful. You know, there was only one breath I heard, and that was on the beginning of that third line, on that dotted note. Because there you have the position shift from the D to the E. Don't sniff. Don't breathe. I don't want to hear your nose. I just want to hear sound. One last time from that same place.
I won't look.
You don't have to look. Wonderful, go on. That was brilliant. That was really, really good. Don't look, go on. Super. You know, on the reprise of the theme, right? Interestingly enough, on the first note there is no enflé, unlike in the theme in the very beginning, right? When the reprise comes, there's no enflé, and also at the end of that line, there's also on the open E string, there's also no enflé, and that means actually that is an unemphasized note. So you have to make sure that that is much quieter and lighter than as if the note had an enflé. Ja, da da tien, dann tin. It could even be a shorter pickup because it does not have an enflé.
Oh, great.
You see?
4 minutes, Hille.
Okay, fine. We just work on the ending of this piece now. Go from the reprise, Sophia. No, don't look. You don't look. Do it again.
Oh, I remember a question that I had.
Yeah.
That I wanted to ask you. Here in Chile, right now I'm not using a Viola da Gamba bow. I'm using a baroque cello bow, and I know that's not good. But here we cannot find like luthiers that make a lot of bows or instruments. So I wanted to ask if where you live in Germany, is there like a name of a luthier that I can Google something, because I really want to buy a bow, but I don't know names of luthiers in the Viola da Gamba world. And I also want to buy a new instrument because this one it's not. My teacher told me that I really have to change it. So, is there a name of a luthier that is famous or that makes a good instrument?
Yes.
That you can.
I could write it in the chat in a minute. Shall I? I can write the name in the chat. I'll write it in the chat, okay?
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'll write the name of a bow maker. And by the way, I'm not even sure if there's a difference between a baroque cello and a gamba bow. I wouldn't even know.
Oh, okay. Yes.
But so
I
it's
am also interested in sorts of instruments. If someone knows a name of a store or a Viola da Gamba maker, because here in our country there are not many, so there are not right now. So I have to buy a new one. Great.
So I'll write a name in the chat, okay? But now you play the last 4 bars for me again. Without looking.
Oh, okay. Last 4 bars. Great.
Super. Sophia, thank you so much. It's good work.
Thank
It's
you for this
brilliant.
opportunity. Thank you so much.
Remember not to look at your instrument, right? Not at the left hand, not at the bow, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
I'll write something in the chat for the luthier, yeah?
Thank you so much.
Obrigado, Sofia. Lindo, parabéns. Pessoal, estamos no nosso tempo, mas a gente pode abrir 5 minutinhos aí para quem quiser perguntar alguma coisa, dizer um alô para a professora, conversar um pouquinho. Sintam-se à vontade para abrir seus microfones ou escrever perguntas no chat também.
Hi, Hille. A pleasure to hear your class. Great to see you.
Fantastic to see you as well.
Long time no see.
That you bet.